What's up everyone, Snowflake Dan here with you. Today we're going to be covering over how to get Openflow deployed inside of AWS. So to get started, I'm going to do a little bit of an overview here. What is a deployment? A deployment is where you can host runtimes which host connectors inside of there. Now this deployment can live inside of Snowflake or AWS. And the reason this happens is because you can have multiple runtimes inside of one deployment. So for today, we're going to be using this tutorial. It'll be linked in the description to kind of help us follow along. And if there's any code snippets we need, we'll be grabbing it from here. So the first thing that it tells us to do is we'll want to head into our Snowflake account and then go into Openflow. So let's do that. So we'll head over to ingestion, Openflow, and then launch Openflow. Now, something I highly recommend is, and actually it's required, is that you switch your role away from account admin. Now, the reason we do that is because if you're using account admin, what you'll end up seeing is a error called invalid consent request or TOTP invalid. So let's make sure that ours is defaulted to something other than account admin. Next, we'll click Launch Openflow. And we'll log in. Once inside of Openflow, we can go to deployments, and you can see here I've already got one deployed inside of Snowflake Container Services, but today we'll go create a new one. We'll click Next. We'll select AWS as our deployment location, and we'll give it a name. I'm going to be simple and simply call it AWS. Next, we'll click Manage VPC unless you need to deploy this inside of your own VPC. After that, we'll select Account Admin. And if you're on private link or you need a custom ingress URL, you can select those as well. We'll click Create Deployment. And from here, we will get a CloudFormation script that we can go use to have all of the infrastructure deployed for us. This is how Snowflake has managed to kind of keep this simple and easy to deploy. So next, we'll head over to AWS. We'll go look up CloudFormation. Make sure you're on the same region as your Snowflake account to avoid any type of egress costs. We'll click Create Stack. From here, we'll use the upload template file because that's what we were given from Snowflake. We'll click Choose File. We'll go click that AWS YAML file. We'll click Open. And then it'll be loaded. If you're interested in what actually is getting deployed inside of your AWS stack, you'll be able to click View in Infrastructure Composer. And then you can see here, these are the different things that Snowflake will be deploying inside of your AWS environment. Now today we're not going to cover exactly what gets deployed inside of there, but here you can get a visual of what it is. So we'll simply head back, we'll leave, we'll go back, upload that same YAML file, click Open, and we'll click Next. You'll give your stack a name, we'll simply call it Snowflake. You could also say something like Snowflake Openflow if you want to get more specific with it. Stack name requires to be dashes. Next, we could review all of these if you want to, but simply here we'll click Next because it's all pre-configured for us. We'll allow Snowflake to do all the hard work. So I'll click Acknowledge, then we'll click Next. We'll review everything again one more time, and we'll click Submit. Now, CloudFormation will go and deploy everything. If we're interested in actually what's going on inside of here, we could simply click on the operation itself, and you could start to view what is actually getting deployed. So you could see Create in Progress, and what we'll be waiting for the next 40 or so minutes is actually for all of this to finish, be created, and then for Snowflake to go and pull that it has been created successfully. So how do we know if it actually has been done successfully and connected to our Snowflake account? Well, we would simply go back to Snowflake. We would click Close here, And then here you could see the status of it. In this case, it's inactive. What we'll be looking for in roughly about 40 to 45 minutes is for it to be switched over to active. Now, if we want to see actually like what the status is specifically about that, we'll scroll down on the tutorial all the way past everything we just finished. We went through all of the submissions. And here you can see the status. And if you want to check the progress, there's a little bit of the ability to go through and kind of check it. But in this tutorial, I actually don't think it's necessary from what I've found out in my own experience. It's simply easy enough to just wait the 45 minutes and see it go from inactive to active. Now, one big caveat here, to make sure that your Snowflake account doesn't block that access to your AWS environment or really to the infrastructure's static IP address, what you would want to do if you do have a blocking network policy, and a blocking network policy is basically where you saying to your Snowflake account is not allowed to talk to anyone except for IP addresses that I allow. Now, if you wanted to fix that so that we can actually get status on it, you would simply go copy your IP address from the CloudFormation script that it's running through. You'll get a static IP right there. And then you'll simply go and add it as a network rule. So what we would do is simply copy this, head over to Snowflake, go to Projects, Workspaces, paste that in there, and we would update our IP address to the EC2 instance's IP address. And from there, we would update our network policy that's blocking to allow that IP address. Perfect. So we could head over to CloudFormations, and the goal here is not to show that we could sit here and wait for 45 minutes. So with the power of the internet, we're going to kind of skip through this. Awesome. So now with the video editing, we could see that it's taken roughly about 45 minutes because it did have that 6 minutes of time when we were actually creating the resources inside of AWS. And so now that we have our actual deployment, in future videos or other videos, if you want to do, we have connectors on the left-hand side menu. You can simply click Create Runtime. You can select your AWS deployment now, give it a name, select a role. In this case, you won't have to add any of that external access because that is handled inside of AWS's VPCs. From there, once you have a runtime, you can simply go to our connector suite by clicking View More Connectors and install any of these connectors in that runtime. Or you can create your own. Awesome. Thanks for watching.